Dear educators, a very warm welcome to Viewpoint, an all-new initiative from teachertribe.world, a continuing effort to engage teachers in meaningful ways and to create platforms of expression for educators across the world. Viewpoint will be one platform where all you educators come together, share your thoughts, express your feelings, and debate over your viewpoints. Presenting this is a noted and popular host, Miss Rashmi Furtado, perhaps not needing an introduction to many of you, as she has been a prolific quiz host over the last decade, co-hosting programs like the Tata Crucible, the RBI Quiz, TCS Inquisitive, just to name a few. She is also the co-founder of Teacher Tribe and has created this platform over the last many years into a meaningful arena for teachers to interact. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly delighted to present before you your host and anchor, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second semi-final of the World Teachers Debate Viewpoint Season 1. This entire debate is conceptualized by teachertribe.world. You would have definitely watched our other events like the World Teachers Quiz that we have. We have been doing the quiz for 5 long years now, and each and every manner in which we engage with our teachers and educators, we have figured that you're always ever enthusiastic about anything that we throw at you, which is why we decided that we would start with a debate contest for all of you. And we got some really overwhelming responses from all of you during the preliminary round. From the prelims, of course, we have screened and arrived at our semi-finalists here today. This is the second semi-final, which means we have identified our first finalist for the grand finale already. We've already completed our first semi-final, 4 semi-finals in all, and at the end of it, we will have 4 finalists who would have moved into that big grand finale that's coming up soon. So that means from the 5 of you here today, only 1 will move forward into that big finale of Viewpoint that is coming up. So good luck to all of you. We have a stellar jury panel who's joined us here today. We have 2 doctors, both completely unrelated to each other. One is a medical doctor, Dr. Sabah Mansoor, and the other one is Dr. Balaji Rao, who is a PhD, and both of them have joined us here today, along with senior editor of teachertribe.world, Ms. Varsha Prasad. I will, of course, give you a detailed introduction of theirs a little later. For now, let us get to know our finalists and see how well they fare in our entire semi-final here today. But before we do that, we must thank all our partners who have helped us and supported us all through this journey of World Teachers Debate, Grey Caps, Global Forum for Teacher Excellence, and FindTeachers.in, all platforms created exclusively for teachers. Let's move on to getting to know our finalists. Our first semi-finalist of the day for the semi-final is from Bengaluru. In fact, all our finalists are from Bengaluru here today. It sort of feels like a Bengaluru semi-final. Representing Delhi Public School East is Dimple Soni.
Good afternoon, everyone.
All right. Moving on to our second semi-final, joining us from National Public School HSR, Sunita Ramaswamy. Our next finalist here today, joining us from Shishu Graha Junior School, M.N. Dhanalakshmi. Representing Srimati Kamala Bhai Educational Institution, Reshu Natasha.
Good day to you all.
And completing the lineup for us here today, representing Sri Kumaran's Children's Home from Tata Silk Farm branch is Manasa.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I have introduced our semi-finalists to you, but I'm sure they have a lot more to say about themselves. So let us quickly get to know them in our first round of the semi-finals. Coming up is me in 30 seconds. Here we go. All right. How will they introduce themselves? If they have to advertise about themselves, what would they say? That is what they need to keep in mind, or that is the perspective that they need to take when they introduce themselves. So let us start with our first semi-finalist of the day. Let's see what she has to say about herself. Dimple, your 30 seconds of time to introduce yourself, starting now.
I don't teach science to fill notebooks. I teach science to spark curiosity. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Dimple Soni from Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. I'm a science teacher by profession, but a gardener by heart. In my class, I plant ideas, water curiosity, and watch confidence bloom. With over a decade of experience, I shape thinkers so that they can innovate, question, and explore. I carry one mission: inspire courage, ignite minds, and leave a trail of curiosity. Because great learning begins when we dare to ask, why not? In my class, it's like a lab where atoms dance, questions sparkle, and imagination refuses to sit still. Thank you so much for listening to me. Good afternoon once again.
That's Dimple for you. Let's move on to our next finalist here today, Sunita. Your time, 30 seconds of time, starting now.
I answer to a name that means light and warmth, something that greets us each morning without fail, with the latter part of it matching Mrs. Mukesh Ambani. I work in an institution whose identity stretches far beyond the city into the Orient, and the name contains the country and its people in it, known for its rigorous academic vigor, promising character, and also education with wisdom and intellect. What I teach is about turning ideas into realities, finding a problem, and daring the students to look for solutions. Well, if you have decoded this encrypted message, you know what I am. I'm Sunita. I teach in National Public School HSR, and entrepreneurship is my subject. How many of you guessed me right? Thank you so much.
All right. Let us move on to our next semi-finalist here today. Ms. Dhanalakshmi, it's your time to introduce yourself. Your 30 seconds of time, starting now.
Namaste. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Lead me from darkness to light. I'm Dhanalakshmi, grateful to share this platform with such a learned gathering, an opportunity to learn and grow. I see this space not just as a contest, but as a shared journey of thoughts. For me, debating is not about defeating an opponent. It's about listening deeply, respecting differences, and reflecting on diverse perspectives. Today, I speak not only to express, but also to learn from you all, my friends. Thank you.
Wonderful. Let us move on to our next semi-finalist, Ms. Reshu. Your 30 seconds of time to introduce yourself. Please go ahead.
Good day to you all. My name is Reshu Natasha. I'm an educator passionate about cultivating strong language skills and critical thinking. I believe that effective communication is the foundation of leadership and harmony. Through teaching, I prepare learners not only for exams, but for meaningful participation in the world. That purpose defines my presence here. Thank you.
Wonderful. And completing this introduction round for us here today is Manasa. You have 30 seconds of time. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. I'm Manasa and I work in Kumudans. As they said, you have to introduce yourself, advertise yourself. So this is Manasa who teach math, where children fear, but I tell them dare it. I tell them, show what you can do. So this is Manasa for maths teacher. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Wonderful to have all of you on board for the semi-final of World Teachers Debate Viewpoint. Let us move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the next round of our debate of our semi-final here today. Point of view, here we go. Well, the contestants whom we have with us here today are the council of leaders who will take decisions that the entire world or all the countries of the world have to follow. And this council of leaders has been tasked with choosing the topmost priority of 2026 for all the countries to follow. So let's see what our contestants have to say. While all of them will give their individual points of view, but they will give it from keeping in mind that they are a part of a council and this is the decision that the council has made. They have to justify why they are picking a certain specific topic as the topmost priority. Let's take a look at all the topics that we have for them. All right. No poverty, good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production, quality education, peace, justice and strong institutions, and last one would be industry, innovation and infrastructure. All of them are part of the 17 SDGs that UN has prescribed for all the countries of the world. So let's see what our council has to say on what priority they think the world should follow for the upcoming or for 2026. Let us start with Manasa. Manasa, you have a minute's time. In fact, all of you have a minute's time to speak on this particular topic. Your time starting now.
Good afternoon, the Council of Leaders. Now I'm going to address you as Council of Leaders. For me, in 2026, I would choose industry, infrastructure, and innovation as the highest global priority. Why? In 2026, we see AI, we are moving into an age where AI and advanced technologies are shaping everything, be it education, be it health, everything. This trend will never going to slow down. It will rapidly increase. If we don't invest in factories or any upgrade our infrastructures, the nations will fall behind. People will lose out on opportunities. So when we invest in big factories, big institutions, big industries, we create more opportunities, more work for the people, so we can make AI work with people and not instead of them. That is the whole motto. So when we create more opportunities for the work, we can make poverty manageable, which is at the highest now. So we can make poverty manageable and progress will definitely become possible. Hence, I feel for 2026, industry, infrastructure, and innovation should be at the highest global priority. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Manasa. Well, all of them are being extremely appreciative of the others. That's nice to see. Let us move on to our next contestant here today. Ms. Reshu, you have a minute's time on any of the topic. Which one would you like to speak on?
I choose good health and well-being.
Wonderful. You have a minute's time. Please go ahead.
Honorable Council leaders, I chose health and well-being because it is the silent force behind every development, every form of development we discuss in classrooms, public forum, and policy forums. As educators, we know that learning cannot occur without physical or mental well-being. Health is not one goal among 17, but it is the foundation of all of them. Globally, rising lifestyle diseases, mental health crisis, and unequal access to the medical field and untreated
No problem. Take
and
your time.
untreated diseases. In 2026, the focus must shift towards prevention, affordability, and universal health care. Health systems must care for mind as much as the body because untreated mental distress weakens family, institutions, and nations. In India, despite all medical progress, challenges such as malnutrition, maternal health risk, non communicable diseases, and mental health stigma persist. Strengthening primary healthcare and promoting preventive and mental health care should become essential. A healthy population is a productive population. I chose this topic because investing in health is ultimately an investment in human potential, and no nation can afford to neglect it. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next semi-finalist here today. Ms. Thanulakshmi, it's your time to tell us which topic you would like to speak on.
Okay, I was saying same as ratio, good health and well-being.
All right, you have a minute's time. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, as a member of Council of Leaders, I respect every priority before us: quality education, poverty reduction, responsible consumption, strong institutions and innovations. Yet, for 2026, good health and well-being comes first because it is the foundation on which every other thing depends. When we speak of quality education, a malnourished child or a student struggling with anxiety cannot learn effectively. When we aim to end poverty, illness, rising lifestyle diseases, and mental disorders continue to push families deeper into it. We might invest in industry and innovation, yet an unhealthy workforce cannot sustain productivity or creativity. Even peace, justice, and strong institutions depend on healthy citizens because societies with physical and mental distress becomes fragile and divided. And responsible consumption begins from clean environment and health systems that protect human life. Friends, health is not one goal among many. It is the condition that makes every other goal achievable. So, as a member of council, my first and topmost priority would be to protect human health. Because health is wealth. When health is taken care of, everything others will be taken care of. And when we want our decisions for 2026 to succeed, we need healthy living beings because when people are well, nations truly progress. Thank you.
All right. Let us move on to our next semi-finalist for the day. Ms. Sunita, which topic would you like to speak on?
As a representative of Bharat in this stellar council of leaders, I propose that the world's top priority for 2026 should be peace, justice, and strong institutions. For us, peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but very beautifully enshrined in our civilizational values as Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. The world is one family. From time immemorial, Bharat has been in the forefront in upholding peace and not resorting to weaponry, and always in the forefront of diplomacy and maritime trade. And even in modern times, we've always shared with the world the COVID vaccines and be a very responsible neighbor in times of crisis or tumultuous calamities. From philosophical debates to maritime missions like the INSV Countinia, we show to the world that seas and societies were interconnected through trade, trust, and cooperation, and not weapons, definitely. Justice in Bharat has always been guided by the world-famous Rig Veda and the other ancient Vedic texts. Fairness, responsibility, answerability to the society has all been enshrined in the so many texts that we have been read and grown. From archaeological evidences which have proven to the world that we are far ahead in terms of race, whether it's metals or horse-drawn chariots as discovered very recently in Sanauli. We've had an ancient civilization of over 15,000 years and more, which all point out to one single factor, that we are indigenous, continuous civilization rooted in our own aboriginal foundations, debunking the very hyped up Aryan invasion theory. When justice prevails, societies thrive, trust grows, and conflicts diminish. Transparent governments, fair laws, well structured administration are all pillars that sustain peace, justice, and strong foundations. From the times of Chandragupta Maurya, and of course, ably supported by Chanakya, we have seen that we have had a very regulated economic system, advanced intelligence, and administration that takes care of all sections of the society. Now, this goes on to prove that
Sunita
Arthashastra,
ma'am, I will have
Sabhas
to
and
stop you.
Samritis
I'm sorry, I will have to stop
have
you.
all this thing. Ideally, we offer wisdom through peace, justice, and strong institutions. Thank you.
Let us move on to our final contestant for this round. Ms. Dimple, you have a minute's time. Which topic would you like to speak on?
I would be taking up quality education.
Go ahead.
The future of the world is not built in boardrooms, it is shaped in classrooms. As a member of the Council of Leaders, I would choose quality education as the topmost priority for 2026. Because when we educate a child, we are not solving one problem, we are preventing many. Quality education is not just about marks. It is about building critical thinking, scientific temper, life skills, and values. It is the strongest weapon against poverty, poor health, inequality, and conflict. Education is the root solution that drives every other sustainable development goal, whether it is innovation, responsible consumption, peace, or prosperity. Without quality education, progress is fragile, and with it, progress is everlasting and equitable. If we truly want a future that is just and united, we have to invest first in education, because when minds are empowered, nations don't just grow, they rise. Educate minds today, world will not need fixing tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the perspectives on some of the topics that were on the screen. Time for us to move into the next round where the war begins. Let's move on to War of Words. Here we go. Well, this is the debate round. Let's see what the topic is for the debate. Military rule in India for 10 years. Well, an extremely debatable topic if you ask me. And I'm very, very curious to see what kind of perspectives will each of them put forward here today in this debate. Teachers, we will give you a minute's time to first give us your individual point of view, and after each of you have completed, then we will start the debate where you will have 6 minutes of time. Please remember, in this round, you will have to stick to 1 minute for your individual perspective. If you cross that minute, I will definitely stop you, and whatever you speak beyond that minute will not be considered for your evaluation as well. So I request all of you to please stick to that minute's time that has been given to you. And also, when it comes to the debate that we will have after the individual points of view, I will not be interfering in that debate. You will have to steer that entire debate on your own. But for now, let us quickly start with your individual perspectives. Let's start with Dimple. Let's start with you. Your perspective for a minute's time on the topic that's on the screen. Military rule in India for 10 years. Please go ahead.
10 years of military rule in India promises discipline and order. But at what cost? India is just not a territory to be controlled. It's a democratic country, and it's powered by the voices of the people. India's strength has always been its diversity, its democratic spirit. A decade without elected leadership risks silencing citizens and even weakening institutions and normalizing fear over freedom. History teaches us that progress without participation is fragile. Discipline may enforce obedience, but democracy builds responsibility and accountability. Our constitution was not written to be paused in difficult times. It was written to guide us through them, because a nation grows strongest not when it is commanded, but when it is heard. Security may protect borders, but democracy protects the soul of the nation. Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's move on to our next contestant, Ms. Sunita. You have a minute's time on the topic on the screen. Please go ahead.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, said Albert Einstein. Honorable jury, respected opponents, and fellow citizens, the moment we hear the word military rule, juntas, coups, curfews, censorship, images of falling states all flash across the mind. But we are trained to recoil, not to reason. But debate is not about our comfort zone. It is about confronting inconvenient truths and to emphasize that military can be empowering the institution. So today, I ask you to suspend instinct and engage in intellect. Let us walk the next mile in a different pair of shoes. We glorify democracy as the destination of political evolution. But pray, tell me, what does democracy look like in present scenario? It looks like a society fractured in caste, creed, language, religion, and even identity.
Sunita ma'am, I will have to stop you. You've crossed a minute's time already. All right, let us move on to our next contestant here today. Ms. Dhanalakshmi, you have a minute's time on the topic. Please go ahead.
Let me be very honest. When we hear the term military rule, it makes us uncomfortable, and that discomfort is valid. But if we pause for a minute and imagine India facing extreme political instability, deep corruption, or a complete breakdown of law and order, a temporary military rule for 10 years could act as a reset button. The military functions on discipline, accountability, merit, guided by national interest, not vote bank politics. Rules are followed strictly and responsibility is clearly defined. When the country faces serious security challenges, quick and firm decisions matter more than endless political arguments. For a limited period, this kind of leadership could help clean up the system, strengthen the infrastructure, and restore public trust. And if courts and basic rights are protected, this would not weaken the democracy. It could actually return a stronger and more stable democracy to the people. Friends, sometimes when system keeps failing, correction is not a choice. It's a necessity, and military rule can serve as that corrective force. Thank you.
All right. Right on time there. Let us move on to our next finalist here today. Ms. Reshu, you have a minute's time on the topic. Please go ahead.
Speaking about military rule in India for 10 years should be viewed as a temporary corrective measure, not a permanent replacement for democracy. In times of deep political instability, corruption, or administrative paralysis, the military can offer disciplined order and swift execution of policy. India's armed forces are among the most professional and apolitical institutions in the country. A time-bound military administration could strengthen internal security, enforce accountability, and stabilize governance without electoral pressure. This period can be used to reform systems, reduce corruption, and restore public trust in institutions. Military rule does not mean the end of democracy. It clearly limited to 10 years, governed by constitution safeguards and focused on institutional reform. It can act as a bridge towards a stronger and more efficient democratic system. Therefore, under strict oversight,
Ms. Rishu, I will have to stop you. You have gone over your 1 minute's time. Let us move on to our final contestant for this round. Manasa, you have a minute's time on this topic. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. The first thing came into my mind when I thought military rule, North Korea. Will India become another North Korea? Well, I don't think so. But honestly, I wonder what would happen if military ran things for a while. Imagine a country where rules are being followed, there are no deals under the table, no officials taking bribes. How nice it is. Look at Singapore. They have fast trains, huge developments. This is what a rule with iron fist brings into our country. It brings strength, it brings discipline, it brings progress. So let's see, when we have military rule in India, every small thing matters. Now we throw trashes everywhere, we don't follow the traffic rules, nothing matters and nobody cares. But when we have military rule, everything will be followed. Maybe sometimes this is what India needs, a tough hand, clear rules and orders, and zero tolerance for corruption. So I feel this is what ideal India looks like, doesn't it? It should be nice, no? When there are no
Ms.
traffic
Manasa, I will have to
jumping
stop you. You
happening.
have crossed
So
the minute's time already. All right,
thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, each of them have given their individual perspective. Now it's time for us to see how they will debate this topic out. Teachers, please do remember, we would be happy if you arrive at a conclusion at the end of 6 minutes. However, we will not hold it against you if you are not able to arrive at a conclusion. Please remember, you have 6 minutes of time to debate on this topic, military rule in India for 10 years, and I will not interfering in this particular debate at all. So you will have to figure out on how you want to move along this entire debate. Good luck to all of you. I will, however, stop you. I'll let you know at the end of 5 minutes that you have a minute more, and after the 6th minute, I will stop you. Good luck to all of you. Military rule in India for 10 years. Please go ahead.
Unlike our democracy, I think we have more A's than nays, and we tend to probably agree with each other. So there is no coalition compulsions here. I think we are all agreeing on the same page that military rule in India is workable for the next 10 years. But just to make some clarity, when we talk about military rule, it is not about a group of individuals who probably has power vested in them. It's about an institution. We are just leaving the political parties aside. So no ideologies, no oppression. It is about the services with a very grand administrative, empowering civil services that go together as a one very solid framework to ensure that what, as my opponents here has told me about being just a reset button, a pause, a reset button, so that we can come back full-fledged democracy with all the reforms firmly in place. So it's basically you're resetting in order to make sure that we have things in order. Don't you agree with me?
I agree with Ms. Sunita. Development without public participation is actually unsustainable. Military rule may bring discipline and order, but it will be a short term. And democracy, it will definitely build a long-term responsibility, participation, and trust. If we go with the military rule, actually we are losing people's voice. And a decade without elected leadership, it will silence the citizens, it will weaken the institutions. So as per my view, military rule in India will not be helping us. It will only resulting in more freer than freedom.
Maybe what Dimple ma'am said was right. But when we have a voice, when the voice is being heard, then the democracy plays a role. When the voices are not at all heard, there are lots of vote banks. Where is the voice? Where is the proper voice? It's all just limited to one set of people. Now, nobody cannot, just everyone cannot enter the politics. You have to have money there. Why do we need money? When democracy means everyone can enter the politics, but no, they have to have campaigning, they have to have so much to flex around. So that is not democracy. So what democracy is, to get a responsible people. To get responsible people, I think somewhere for some period of time, we require military rule.
And a country like India, I feel, definitely needs a military rule to put us in place. For example, like how Manasa ma'am mentioned, that we throw trash everywhere. There is no discipline in traffic. There is no rules when we go out. So we need a military person. For example, in classrooms, when all the students make a lot of noise, there will be either a PT sir or there will be some strict sir who would come and put in their rules. Only then the students will keep silent. So I think military rule for some time is really effective in country like India.
Coming to public participation, Dimple ma'am, I still think it can continue through local bodies or expert committees where voices of all the massive crowd can be heard also.
I agree to all your points. I think we've beautifully touched upon reservation, we've touched upon corruption, we've touched upon mayhem on the roads with traffic, garbage, no environmental insights, nothing of this kind. So isn't it time to set this in order? And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Prioritize this as an order for liberty to follow. While we may think that it is not stifling our voices, expression, following faith, but everything comes then there is freedom to practice all of this. If there is absolutely mayhem or chaos building up, I don't think we'll ever be able to function a democracy. In today's scenario, rightly so, this couldn't be timed at a better place and date. Probably we are looking at authoritarian democracy, which is itself kind of dictatorial in nature.
India
Like what's
doesn't
happening
need
in
less democracy. It needs better democracy. And it is not that suspending democracy will help us in any way. It is just the reforms that has to be made within the democracy so that the things are working out well. But we are not talking about suspending democracy.
Teachers, you have a minute more.
We are not talking about suspending democracy.
About North Korea. Okay, sorry.
We are not talking about suspending democracy altogether. It's just a temporary breakdown.
We are just moving the political parity out of the scenario and leaving the rest intact.
Reforms within the democracy, right? We can make
And
it.
if at all we look at Singapore,
for a betterment.
yes,
Democracy
every time
today-
need not be, very strict. There can be liberation, there can be liberal ideologies as well. So as soon as we think about military rule, we just have one picture, as Sunita ma'am said, falling stages, setting stages on fire. That's not the only military rule that we know that, because that is what has been portrayed to us. So it might
The biggest democracy
force.
Even the biggest
We're
democracy
still not
is about the cult
resolved.
personality, right? We are above the law. The cult personalities of the so-called the biggest democracies of the world have it in them that the law, we don't have to abide by the law. We are out to do anything as we've seen so rightly in Venezuela.
There are some cities
you
which
have
are
crossed
ruled
6
by
minutes.
military government.
Teachers, I'm sorry, you all have all crossed 6 minutes. If there is a conclusion, you can do it right now in the next 10 seconds, else we will move on to the next round.
So I think most of us are
Military
favoring the
rule-
military rule,
rule
and
for the next 10 years.
except Dimple Soni ma'am. So if you're still not convinced, you can let us know which point exactly you're not convinced, so that we can try to.
And we
what
want
I believe is
adding
that
to Dhanalakshmi
All
ma'am,
right,
it is
teachers, your
not
10
about
seconds are done.
Individual command.
10 seconds are done. Okay.
yes,
Well,
Dimple ma'am,
ladies and
Diverse
gentlemen,
country like India, we cannot govern it by commands.
All
Force cannot be
it
used.
need not be only
Teachers, I need you
dominated by
to please
command.
calm
And
down.
short-term
Can-
stability, definitely
Teachers,
it will not result
teachers,
in,
anything you
freedom
say
will be
right
lost.
now-
That is the
ma'am, sometimes disease needs
Teachers,
you can
anything you
combine
say
both.
right now will not be
changes.
can
considered
combine
for your
both,
evaluation.
it will be easier.
Anything you say right now will not be considered for your evaluation after I said your 10 seconds of time is also crossed. So no amount of discussion and debating now is going to help arrive at a conclusion or help the result of this semi-final either. Ladies and gentlemen, quite an interesting debate out there. I told in the very beginning that it's a very interesting topic, and I expected the debate to be exactly the way it went on. So let's move on to the last round of our semi-final of Viewpoint here today. Moving on to jury time. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, like I told in the very beginning, I have a stellar cast of jury members who have joined us here today. Let me introduce, usually it is ladies first, but in this case, since all of us are ladies here, let me start with the gentleman who has joined us as a jury member, Dr. Balaji Rao. He is an author, speaker, trainer and a columnist, and he's a co-founder and director of OSAT Knowledge Private Limited. He has over 4 decades of experience in the banking and finance industry, a PhD in mutual fund and personal finance. He has authored over 10 books penned close to 500 articles, has conducted close to 1,000 investor awareness programs for corporates, for teachers and students in many languages in over 70 cities across India. He's a visiting professor in many educational institutions, and he has a special interest in raising financial awareness among the younger lot. Dr. Balaji, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Pleasure.
Let us move on to our next jury member who has joined us. I told you we had two doctors here today. This one is a medical doctor, Dr. Sabah Mansoor. She is a doctor with specialty in public health and emergency medicine, licensed from the United Kingdom. She has worked for UNICEF as Gujarat State Immunization Consultant and also worked with World Health Organization. She's currently working as a professor in public health and also an in-charge doctor in step-down ICU at Pacific Medical College and Hospital in Udaipur. She has a special interest in women empowerment and mental health. She's a knowledge enthusiast herself, and she is an author who published her first book when she was still a school student. She loves traveling and experiencing new and different cultures. I personally know Sabah for a long time, and she's one of those whom I'm really proud of. Dr. Sabah, thank you so much for joining us here today. Not easy for a medical doctor, especially the one who works in an ICU, to make time, but thank you so much for being with us here today. Let us move on to our final jury member, Ms. Varsha Prasad, who is the senior editor at teachertribe.world. Most of you teachers would have interacted with her or her team at some point in time if you have come across teachertribe.world. She has worked in this role for over a decade now, and she brings out the monthly magazine for teachers for close to 5 or 6 years, if I'm not wrong. And she's also the head of product development at Grey Caps. She is a voracious reader. She loves experimenting with new food, and she is a Potterhead. She loves Harry Potter and various other TV series. Varsha, thank you so much for joining us here today. Let us start with Dr. Balaji. Whom would you like to speak to first?
I want to speak to Manasa, madam.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. No, when you say infrastructure, the school has limited scope. Okay, in terms of managing classrooms itself, I think is with the growing student numbers.
Yes.
Infrastructure is more focused on managing classrooms.
Classrooms.
But when you say innovation, so what innovation can be plugged into as part of the infrastructure, you think?
So innovation can be as a part of just not chalk and talk method. Now we have our infrastructures like, we have more of fields, having a lot of bigger fields, so that as we can connect that to another SDG also, having a proper education with health. Because when we have field, a good infrastructure, science lab will, inquisite your curiosity. When you don't have that infrastructure, just in the class, you tell them, they don't understand. Only when we invest in that kind of an infrastructure where they can do things, they can see themselves and then understand. Only then we can give a proper result. Every time we tell you mix this with this, you will get another thing. How do they know? They don't know what salt is. When we say about salt, they know only what table salt. That's all they know. We keep on telling ammonium salt, sulfur salt. What are those? We have to show them in the lab. So those are the kind of infrastructures that we have to invest. Just not having a large classroom will not help. You can have, place for large students, but when they don't understand what is being taught in that large classroom, there's no point having that large classroom at all. We don't have proper fields to play. They don't have proper computer labs. Just teach them what is string. What do they understand by that? They have to do it only then. So that is what I feel, having a proper infrastructure is upgrading it, innovating it, so that, just investing them not in the classroom, but outside as well. So that is what I feel the infrastructure should be improved. in Bangalore, we think, but there are so many rural areas, they don't have proper fields or fields, okay. They don't have computer labs at all. They don't have what is science lab, they don't know. So only city people cannot be having, cannot engage in workforce. It is the rural people also. So after they finish their 10th or 12th, they just come to the land in some engineering college. They don't know what is going on. So that is what we have to invest in, proper, strong infrastructure.
Thank you,
That
Manasa.
means there has to be a standardized infrastructure, no? When you are saying there is a disparity between A and B.
Definitely, yes.
So unless there is no standardization, I don't think this is going to solve, no? I think if you go to school in Bangalore itself, if you go to different schools,
Definitely.
there is a huge difference in the way a school perceives a
Correct.
particular way of managing their pedagogy, no?
Correct. But see, that's what there should have been some proper, when they give permission to a school, there should be certain criteria, which most of the time is not followed. Any small building, they call it as a school. Where it is on the main road, we don't even know that is called as a school. So where will they invest in infrastructure? Only when they have strong standardized rule, only then we can have some strong infrastructure that can help in quality education.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Balaji. Dr. Sabha, whom would you like to speak to?
Yeah, I would like to speak to Dhanalakshmi ma'am.
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
I would like to explore this topic which was given to me, that is responsible consumption and production, if you don't mind.
Okay. Responsible consumption, the government can help with the
Can I
infrastructure.
ask a question based on that?
Yes,
The
not a
topic
problem.
is responsible consumption and production.
I had
I'd like
actually
to know.
spoke about good health and well-being, but I don't mind
Okay.
answering for this responsible consumption as well.
Okay. Okay. If it is good health and well-being, then I also have a question in my mind.
Okay.
I would like you to throw light on the most undeserved, unsung heroes in, you can say, remote areas. Those are housewives or the women. Okay? What can a group or a group of council members can do to provide good health and well-being among these, unattended group of people, this demographic? So as a council member, how would you bring about good health and well-being among these, the uneducated, the housewives, or the ones who hardly come out of their homes and always face, I think you already know that there's a lot of gender disparity, there's a lot of gender violence. So as a group of council members, what can you do to bring about good health and well-being among that unattended group of people?
Fine. So first, going with your first question, responsible consumption, ma'am. It's about.
Oh, I stuck
No,
to your.
You don't want me to
yeah,
answer
you
on
can-
that?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
fine.
stick to good health and well-being. Yeah.
For the good health and well-being, for the unsung heroes, as you said, for the housewives and those who have illiterates, for them, as a member of the council, and I can motivate my team to conduct awareness programs amongst them, wherein we gather few, going area-wise and gathering those ladies there to bring them more awareness about health and well-being, their daily nutrition as well, plan their daily meal, checking on whether sufficient protein intake is being taken, and their sanitary measures, whether the cleanliness is being maintained, so that instead of facing the difficulties, like facing the issues of facing the diseases and then trying to figure out a solution, I would suggest and motivate my members to act on prevention methods. So educate them to prevent diseases and stay healthy so that they will not meet up or face all these challenges of lifestyle diseases in future.
Okay, so
We
as
also conduct mobile awareness programs to grab their attention, wherein I can have video or I can use the technology, integrate the technology through speakers or through videos where I can go mobile. So the ladies, when they come out to purchase their daily provisions, so they get attracted through these ads, and they get the interest to attend these awareness or welfare programs, so that I can reach out to them. Even I feel even the girl childs, they still suffer with basic sanitary appliances or features which they read. So awareness about those things can also be reached through them. So this is what I have a plan along with my team to execute it, so that I can help them out even better.
Okay. So thank you for your answer. Most of it is being covered by the government measures. I think what we are lacking is on the mental health aspect, the well-being aspect of women. So what can you do as a council member? What innovative thing can you do to bring about mental health awareness among these unattended demographics?
So again, as I would say, we need people to hear out to us. Only then the mental health can be stabilized. So I can grab their attention by, say, street plays or something like that, so that when they come out, they can see all those things, and a small, along with their children. So getting to know their children, to going to their schools and making them do a show for their parents, so that they come out from their shell. So making them realize that their world is not inside their house. So there's much more than that for them to explore, and make them feel satisfied that they also contribute to the society in one way or other. Self-employment schemes. So giving them that confidence to come out. So this itself will lift their morale and contribute to the well-being and mental health.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sabha. Varsha, whom would you like to speak to?
I would like to ask my question to Ms. Dimple.
Please go ahead.
So my question is, in round 3, while all of them were for military rule in India for 10 years, I think you were the only one who stood ground and said you were against it. So if I'm giving you an opportunity to speak for a few more seconds for this topic, saying you don't want military rule, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am. As I said before, like progress based on fear, it is always fragile. It's a temporary thing. It cannot be permanent. And something which is forced on you, definitely fear over freedom. This is going to work out definitely, but temporary. There's a lack. There'll be a lack of accountability, responsibility. People's voices will not be there. And India is known for its diversity, its democratic spirit. So turning down democracy completely, it is not a good solution. But we can bring reforms within the democracy, many changes which will help in the positive development and even help the people in every other way, rather than imposing with military rule, where a lot of discipline and order definitely will be there, but it will be combined with fear. And there will be no freedom for the people to speak. Citizens will be they will not have any power. Institutions will be weakened, and military rule may ensure quick decisions, but it will be temporary. As that's what I think. And our constitution will be at risk, because our constitution is written, not to be paused when there are difficult times and when we are facing such situations. We cannot just pause it. But yes, it is meant to guide us through difficult times. So we cannot completely pause, and this is not a solution, I think. So.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Varsha. Dr. Balaji, whom would you like to speak to?
Yeah, I would like to.
I'll
ask Ms.
refresher.
Natasha.
Okay, she spoke on good health and well-being in the second round. If that helps, please go ahead.
No, see, I was about to start with that anyway. Now, see, again, good health and all, who is responsible for good health? Okay, is it government? Is it the parents? Is it the children themselves? Or how do you bring in at a school level good health? So I think there is we all talk about so many things that can be changed, but this change has to be done by someone. So it becomes more preachy is what I say, that you have to eat so much, you have to sleep for so much time. Okay, this more becomes preachy. But how do you develop that, that kind of being healthy with all those samosas, vada pavs and pani puri stalls around us, and all the recipes that people make on Instagram, Facebook and all, So making somebody to be healthy, when you go to a theater, they'll not serve you idli vada, they serve you popcorn and that phenyl, that dark glass of drink they give, And so this is not something that we all talk about good health. But where do you start it? How do you put it across into a child's mind? Who is going to be doing that?
I feel that this should start from home. How an education will start from home, and the first teacher is the mother. So the first person who should start with a good diet, a good nutritious diet will be from home, sir. Because whatever we feed the children, they tend to cultivate the same. In my house, I have a policy that once a month we will have junk food. So we stick on to 1 month of junk food. No pocket money is given to children. Whatever they want, we as parents give them. So children also try to follow what is good, what is bad. And as we all know, we all parents, we all are busy. So we want to give luxurious life to children, but they should also understand that spoiling their health is also, they are responsible for it. The parents are responsible for it. And a child will only know when nutritious food is given, the child will not fall sick. But the other child who has junk food falls sick often and visits hospital many times.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Balaji. Thank you, Ms. Reshu. Sabha, that leaves you with Ms. Sunita. Please go ahead.
So, Sunita ma'am, I would like to ask you about a topic which no one has touched, that is responsible consumption and production. So here, just like Dr. Balaji Rao has mentioned, where do we start? And if we need to start at a classroom level, or at a, in a school, from a school level, how do you create this awareness about responsible consumption and production among children? And what are the challenges? And how would you use the most entertaining way to create this kind of awareness among children about responsible consumption and production?
Good afternoon to the honorable members of the jury, and thank you so much for giving an opportunity to answer a question that I had not touched upon probably. But I think the Gen Z or the Alpha or the Beta generation that we have today, thankfully and gleefully, are not following the other generations, I would say, because they believe in minimalistic living. They have a very, very clear task cut out in front of them. So we just touched upon food as one of the topics. It also caters to a whole lot of things. We talk about clothing, we talk about buying unnecessary gadgets, probably looking at all sorts of appliances at home. So I think somewhere, as my dear friends in the panels have said, it all starts with the family. So yes, answering your question, it starts early. I think it starts with parents, because let me take my own example. I take a grocery list to a shopping mall. I end up buying everything but for the list, the items that is marked on the list. That is how marketing today has led us to probably consume, which is not at all necessary, and absolutely a luxury, which I'm indulging in. So probably I think we should train ourselves and inculcate the same set of values from the childhood, so that the children today can also build upon the fact that, yeah, there are certain restrictions, there are certain things which talks about, unnecessary expenditure, and be very wary of thoughtfulness, be very cognitive about what is needed and what is not needed. One very interesting, probably you asked me for a creative way, I think we could have role plays, we could have street plays, which brings in a certain amount of probably visibility about wasteful consumption which is unnecessary, unwarranted, so that we do not indulge ourselves in too much of things which are absolutely not required. So I remember this recently in our school, we did do something called a digital detox, which was largely presented in the form of a street play, where we had this kind of, exposure to the students as what could be an ideal way of living. And consumption is one of the most important aspects that I think we should touch upon because of the serious, hazards of too much of garbage dumping. And if you look at e-waste, that is too many. If you look at the apparel wastage, too many. If you look at the food wastage, which is humongous, it has reached to hazardous levels. So I would suggest train them young, train them from the family, and look at it as making it the most visible through programs that can be really conducted in school.
The current trending problems in the responsible consumption would come in fast fashion and food wastage. So what can be inculcated in children with respect to fast fashion, excessive plastic usage? So what can be done among children to be kind of responsible with the usage, reusage, or the consumption of these kind of cheap plastic-laden apparel?
I'm glad that you brought this topic up, ma'am, because I think fast fashion was what I was referring to in my earlier part of the conversation. So I think we look at a circular economy, and that should be the focus that we train ourselves. So in a school itself, we can create an ambience wherein we are reducing and reusing and recycling, and such that we give them that awareness that buying too many. So I think when we brought in the system of uniform in schools, the first reason could be, right from time immemorial, could be this, that we do not want children to flaunt. We do not, whether it's buying apparels or clothing or accessories or whatever be it. So we need to bring in that ambience once more by creating what is called as, we recently, we've just finished December, which is obviously the joy of giving month. So we could always use that opportunity to encourage children to part with their things which is never needed, never used, or some things which can be given in absolutely good condition to the people who are less privileged. So encouraging that kind of habits and also ensuring that you have a green space. So creating an environment where you reduce food wastage, for example, wherein you can look at, say, classrooms that are enabled with a green dot, if they are maintaining it clean and having a plastic-free environment. So as teachers, I think we always kind of bring it as a habit in class also to look for below the plastic, like if they're carrying any water bottles, to look for that plastic grading so that they know that what they're using is highly harmful, cannot be recycled, and very detrimental to the environment. So yes, there are a lot of programs that we as teachers or educators can bring in a change from the classroom.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Dr. Subha.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have reached the end of the second semi-final of World Teachers Debate Viewpoint, where, like I told you in the very beginning of this debate, we will have to pick out the winner from the semi-final who will move into that grand finale that's coming up. So time for us to adjourn and figure out who among the five of them will progress to that grand finale. Thank you so much for joining us in this semi-final, and don't go anywhere. There are two more semi-finals that are coming up, and we would love to have you there to see who will qualify further to that grand finale. Thank you so much for joining. Do take care. Ladies and gentlemen, time for us to get to know our winner, and the winner is Miss Dimple Soni from Delhi Public School, Bangalore East from Bengaluru. She will now move into the grand finale.